This is from the book Stories of the Heart, compiled by Alice Gray. It's called The Signal. The young man sat alone on the bus and most of the time stared out the window. He was in his mid-20s, nice-looking with a kind face. His dark blue shirt matched the color of his eyes. His hair was short and neat. Occasionally he would look away from the window, and the anxiety on his young face touched the heart of the grandmotherly woman sitting across the aisle. The bus was just approaching the outskirts of a small town when she was so drawn to the young man that she scooted across the aisle and asked permission to sit next to him. After a few moments of small talk about the warm spring weather, he blurted out, "I've been in prison for 2 years. I just got out this morning and I'm going home." His words tumbled out as he told her he was raised in a poor but proud family and how his crime had brought his family shame and heartbreak. In the whole 2 years he had not heard from them. He knew they were too poor to travel the distance to where he had been in prison, and his parents probably felt too uneducated to write. He had stopped writing them when no answers came. 3 weeks before he had been released, he desperately wrote one more letter to his family. He told them how sorry he was for disappointing them and asked for their forgiveness. He went on to explain about being released from prison and that he would take the bus to his hometown, the one that goes right by the front yard of the house where he grew up and where his parents still lived. In his letter, he said he would understand if they wouldn't forgive him. He wanted to make it easy for them and so asked them to give him a signal that he could see from the bus. If they had forgiven him and wanted him to come back home, they could tie a white ribbon on the old apple tree that stood in the front yard. If the signal wasn't there, he would stay on the bus, leave town, and be out of their lives forever. As the bus neared his street, the young man became more and more anxious, to the point he was afraid to look out the window because he was sure no ribbon would be there. After listening to his story, the woman asked simply, "Would it help if we traded seats and I'll sit near to the window and look for you?" The bus traveled a few more blocks and then she saw the tree. She gently touched the young man's shoulder and, choking back tears, she said, "Look, oh look, the whole tree is covered with white ribbons." Stories of the Heart. Wishing you beauty, balance, serenity, and self